Have you ever tried to explain a complicated idea to someone who just doesn't get it? Maybe you've described how an airplane stays in the air or only see a confused face staring. Breaking down complex ideas is a skill worth mastering. Whether you're explaining tech to non-technical stakeholders or teaching your kid about aerodynamics. Today, I'll be joined by my 10-year-old son, Samson. Say hi.
Hi.
As we explore the challenge of simplifying complexity, using airplanes as our guide. Now, if a pilot can control an aircraft at 30,000 feet, we can definitely learn how to navigate clear communication on the ground. This is another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories. Welcome and let's go. So welcome to MoloMolo African Tech Stories. As I said, I will be having an amazing guest today where we asked the question, have you ever felt stuck in trying to simplify technical ideas for non-experts? Trust me, you're not alone. Today we are diving into a struggle of explaining concepts that are quite complex. And I have my 10-year-old son, Samson, here to help me explain and see if I can do a really good job for him to understand. So, now let's start with a question, Samson. Tell me, how do you think an aeroplane flies? What do you think?
Well, I think that the airplane has these turbines, so these motors on the wings, these big giant things with these propellers. But first you need to check everything if it's fine, because you know what happens without checking. Something might break.
Okay.
For example, if the stabilizer is stuck or something, or the rudder is no longer moving, yeah, it's bad.
I hear you. And how do you think would an airplane fly without wings?
No.
Why not?
Same like birds.
Why not?
It's similar, like a huge big metal bird. Just doesn't need to flap its wings. It's faster.
Now, what makes airplanes or birds need wings? Why can they not just fly without them? What makes wings so special?
Makes them so so angle of attack. By birds, the angle of attack, they need to actually flap the wings. But by airplanes, the wings are more bigger and made of metal. And there's also these lines underneath that also it has to be round too.
Ah, okay, yes. Tell me more.
And so it has the motor and it's like there's also, because before I watched, there was some type of crash because they didn't have, the motor wasn't round. It was flat. Yeah, and also so the motor can also suck in air and push it out at the back. It needs fuel.
Do you know what we call that? The force that brings the airplane going forward. You know what we call that? What do you think?
I don't know.
We call that thrust.
Yeah, thrust.
Thrust. Now, let me tell you, there are 4 forces. You know what a force is like? You know, when I'm pushing you, you push me back. It's a force, right? There's 4 forces that makes an airplane stay in the air. Do you know what it is? It is the weight of the airplane, right? If there's weight, it will come down, right?
Lift.
Lift. And which direction is lift? Is it the same direction as the weight or in another direction?
The up direction.
Aha. So there's lift that is opposite. We call that opposite. That is in opposite direction to the weight. And then guess what's opposite direction to the thrust?
Reverse.
Nope. If the thrust moves the airplane forward, what keeps the airplane from slowing down? What makes the airplane slow down?
Brakes?
No, in the air. What makes the airplane slow down? What do you think?
I don't know.
Drag.
Drag?
You know what drag is? Drag is what you feel every time you ride your bicycle. If you start riding your bicycle, does your bicycle slow down or does it keep going at the same speed?
It keeps going at the same speed when you
No.
no.
What
you
makes
pedal slow if you're on full
If you stop pedaling, would your bike still go in the same speed or will it slow down?
it will slow down somehow if you stop pedaling.
If you stop pedaling, you know
But
why?
there's something that these gears just go still spinning.
Yeah, the gears is one reason, but there's another reason why it slows down. You know why? It's the air. Whenever you feel air over you, it's called drag. The air pushes you back. It's like an invisible force.
That's why wings and the nose and stuff are round.
That's why it's pointy to help you not have too much
Drag, or somehow you just somehow stop in the air and now you fall down.
Correct. So an airplane has 4 forces. There is lift, that is opposite to
drag. I mean, weight.
Weight, and there's thrust, that's opposite to
drag.
So if all of them are equal, the plane just flies
low,
straight, completely straight, and at the same speed. It doesn't go faster, it doesn't go slower. Isn't that amazing?
For example.
So now we're going to explain today a very simple concept, which is called aerodynamics. Do you know what aerodynamics mean?
And stuff about aeroplanes.
Yeah, that's for sure. Stuff about airplanes.
And how the air works, gravity. Yeah. And how actually does the gas go in the engines. It's something like electricity, where electricity comes from some type of place where they need fuel, wind, or water, or this material, I don't know what's called, but it's radioactive. So fuel and radioactive, and that radioactive material, they are gas power. It starts spinning. Yeah, there's a turbine. There's water inside as well. It starts to become steam. It hits these turbines. Then the turbines actually move slow, but then as the turbines turn, but the generator gets powered, but it spins faster. And by wind, it also needs a generator. And by water too, because the water just flows through the blades in one direction. And by solar power.
Yeah, but that's not what we're talking about, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we are talking about is there's 4 forces. There's lift, there's weight, there's thrust, and there's
wind and drag.
What we are going to explain to you about aerodynamics, it's got to do with lift and drag. So I've got a suction pad. What is this?
Suction pad.
It's a suction pad, right? Touch it. It's a suction pad, right?
Wow.
Now, do you know how a suction pad works?
Something like a Spider-Man thing.
Yeah, almost like Spider-Man. Exactly.
Like you put it here.
And it's okay. That's correct. And then, of course, Spider-Man is like a suction thing that sucks. In this case, you twist it, and then it will suck, right?
Oh.
It creates a suction pressure. It means that it creates a vacuum. It creates a
vacuum.
A vacuum is something that allows you to suck things. It allows you to do what?
Suck things.
To suck things. A vacuum sucks things to itself. So, an airplane works very similar to a suction pad. The lift of an airplane creates what we call suction on top of the wing. That's why the wing is so important, because as air goes faster, it's as if the air on top of the wing, it creates a suction. And guess what a suction does?
It sucks.
It sucks, and it sucks. And what will it? And if it's got millions of suction pads all over the top wing, what is it doing?
It's sucking up.
It's sucking up. Exactly. So, why is it important for us to know this? Is because anything that has air flowing, and you know what? There's a specific shape that a wing is made. What is that shape called?
I don't know.
It's called an airfoil.
Airfoil.
An airfoil shape is like a teardrop shape. A teardrop.
Something like
almost like a teardrop that is cut in half. Yeah, a teardrop that is
cut in half because the bottom is flat.
Exactly.
So it has less suction.
Exactly. So there's less suction at the bottom, there's more suction at the top, and guess what happens? If there's more suction at the top than at the bottom, what happens to that object? It does what? It could go up in the air or go down in the air?
You go down.
No,
or up.
More suction goes up. Because why? The suction pulls you
up.
Suction pulls you up.
It's like 10,000 suction pads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something like keeping the airplane up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, why do you think that an airplane needs such a large wing? Why can't the airplane have small wings?
Well, it depends on the body size.
Mm-hmm. True.
Like by other planes, the carrier planes, for example, passenger planes. That is passenger planes are big, so they have enough passengers to travel where they need to go. Because just boats and cars don't just help, because the sea is also dangerous. And flying is actually faster too.
True, but what do you think? Some planes have really big wings and other planes have really small wings. What do you think? What is the reason?
Because, for example, a small plane, if it had big wings, then it won't able to take off because the body has less weight than your huge wings. And if the other airplane had it, the big airplane had small wings, the big airplane won't take off because the body is also heavy.
Very, very good point.
And also, small wings, they can hold huge, big motor engines. And mostly small planes are sometimes propeller planes.
Correct. So this is a very good point you're making, right? Because a big airplane is very heavy, and if it's very heavy, it needs to have a much bigger force? Lift
force.
And the lift force requires a much bigger wing.
Bigger wings.
So you can have all these suction pads on top of the wing to create suction. Because if the wing is small, would you have more or less suction pads if the wing is small?
Yep.
You will have more or less.
Less. And therefore the airplane won't
take off.
Just stay on the ground.
That's the reason. So that's why. But guess what? You can also say, if my airplane has a small wing, maybe I can go faster to get it more suction. Right? So your suction power increases the faster you go. How do you know this? Because when you're on a bicycle, the more you go faster, does the air sound in your ear increase or decrease? Increase. Which means there's more air going over the wing of an airplane the faster it's going. And if there's more air going over the airplane, guess what happens to the suction power? Does it increase or decrease the suction power if there's more air, if you're going faster?
Decreases, not increases.
What do you think? I think about it. Would you go up would you go up in the air faster? Would you climb faster if you increase speed or decrease speed?
If you increase speed.
Increase speed. The only reason the speed allows you to go higher faster is because there's more suction that is created by you going faster. Does it make sense? So suction power is not just how much wing size you have. Suction power is also related to how fast you are flying. That's why fighter jets have small wings, but still can really go really heavy and really fast.
They have a really strong booster, actually.
Yeah, but the booster is for speed.
Yeah, for speed.
For speed, because speed helps suction. That's the only reason. That's why some fighter aircraft have huge motors, is because it gives it
speed.
Speed, and speed allows you to get what?
Suction.
Suction, and suction makes you do what?
Take off.
Take off and climb and do all sorts of maneuvers. Do you see? That is called aerodynamics. Isn't that cool? Yeah, you've learned aerodynamics today, Sam. Isn't that cool? So whenever you see an airplane, you need to be asking yourself, why is the wing so big and how fast will it fly? And if it's a normal passenger jet, does it fly as fast as a fighter jet? That's why the wing is big or smaller than a fighter jet?
Small.
No, a passenger jet wing, is it bigger or smaller than the fighter jet?
It's
A Boeing's wing, is it bigger or smaller than a fighter jet?
Bigger.
Bigger.
Meaning if it crashes in the wing, mostly the body of the fighter jet is also quite a bit smaller.
Yeah, but what we are talking about is regarding suction power. The reason why the wing is big is because the passenger jet doesn't fly faster than a fighter jet. Because
the fighter jet weighs less than the passenger jet.
Correct. So then that's why the passenger jet needs to have more wing or less wing?
More.
More, because it flies slower, so you counterbalance the suction to get the same suction power. You counterbalance by having
long wing
and flying slower or faster than a fighter jet.
Slower.
But yet you get really high suction because you have a much bigger wing. Does it make sense? So suction power is like having the wing, the size of the wing matters, but also very important, the faster you fly matters. Now tell me, what is your favorite airplane?
Mostly have a lot.
Yeah, but tell me one or two, and then tell me why.
The Concorde.
The Concorde, okay. Yeah, why the Concorde?
Because the nose goes up and the mast too, because when the nose is down, it's like the ice train, the ICE, our German high-speed train. But when it goes up, the wind now goes like this. That's the angle of attack. And the second window, without it, it's also flat. But with it, it's also like a round, around.
Okay.
And also because of the delta wings, it looks similar like a shuttle.
Is that why you like it? Okay. Yes. And what other airplane do you like?
The Blackbird.
The Blackbird. You know what the other name for the Blackbird? The SR-71. I know you didn't know that. SR-71. And what do you like about the Blackbird?
That it flies really high. You can't even hear a single.
Yeah, you can't even hear it, right? It flies
it's so high, you can't even see it.
You can't even see it.
But they don't use it anymore. It has so much accidents.
Who told you that?
It's someone else. My friends.
Your friends?
Yeah, maybe they were lying to me.
No. Now, are you not going to ask me?
Yeah. Why is the wing actually...
No, you're going to ask me what is my favorite airplane.
What's your favorite airplane?
What do you think?
Yeah, the Spitfire.
The Spitfire.
Because it has this wing that
It's
the
called,
shape.
yeah, and you know what that shape is called?
No,
It's called elliptical.
elliptical.
Elliptical because it's not flat. It's shaped like, there's no sharp edges.
It's
all
curvy.
It's all curvy.
I have a model of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's broken
I know. Who broke it?
when I was a baby. Yeah, and the
Yes.
Spitfire, it's actually like the second
Mhm.
it's like the second built airplane from the Messerschmitt, our
Mhm.
German warplane.
Correct. Well, yes. So the Spitfire fought what we call the Battle of Britain against Germany, and one of the airplanes that Germany used was the Messerschmitt. What is Messerschmitt of English? It means what?
Well, it means
Messer means
Messer
is of English?
is knife cutter. It's called knife cutter.
Cutter, yeah, because it flew really fast and it was able to fly even faster than the Spitfire, but the Spitfire had a really good handling. It could maneuver the Messerschmitt a lot better.
Yeah, but you already know about the new engine of the Spitfire.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So then here's another question I have. So let's just see if you remember. How many forces does an airplane have? How many? 4.
Oh, thrust,
Thrust,
lift,
weight,
drag,
and drag. There's 4 forces. How many forces?
4.
4 forces. And what different things affect the suction power on an airplane?
It also counts that's why there's also air brakes for airplanes.
No, it's what makes suction power increase or decrease on an airplane.
Speed.
The speed and
the wing, the weight.
No, how big?
How big the wing is.
How big the wing is, because it means how many suction
pads
you can have. So the faster the wing flies, the more suction you get, and also the more wing you have, the more suction you get.
Yeah, and actually the plane carrier or this carrier called the beluga needs actually huger wings.
Correct.
Than the regular Boeing 787.
What does a beluga do?
It transports huge stuff
inside its body, isn't it?
No, on the top.
On the top, that's true.
Inside. But in the older days, the beluga actually opened the whole thing, so it was in the whole body.
Correct.
But our beluga now, it has jet engines. The other one are propeller engines. And it needs more thrust, meaning a longer runway.
Okay, that's interesting. Yes,
and the Concorde also needs a longer runway because of the delta wings.
Correct.
It carries a lot of stuff, a lot of systems.
That's true.
If you want to go jet fast.
That's true. And guess what the runway helps to do to help the suction power? It's for what? What does the runway help for? The longer runway helps to do what?
It helps you to get more suction to go fast.
By doing what? How do you get more suction with a longer runway?
By having more speed. Because by shorter, it won't take off. It'll just still stay on ground. And now, for example, if you by the sea,
you'll have an accident.
Yes, you'll crash in the water.
Correct.
Or crash through the fence.
But the point here is that the runway it's not a coincidence that you need a longer runway. You need a longer runway because you need more suction power, and more suction power you get it with speed. It's called aerodynamics. Yeah? So you learned something today. So there you have it. Another conversation with my awesome guests, Samson, where we learn complex subject called aerodynamics, broken down using simple but yet intelligible ways and illustrations. You can do it too. The summary is very simple. For you to improve your technical communication, one needs to be able to simplify your language. One needs to be simplify your illustration so that even a 10-year-old is able to not only remember, but explain it to someone else. I'm Dr. PK. This is another episode of MoloMolo African Tech Stories with my awesome guest, Samson. Until next time, ciao.